Steve, how are you?
Wonderful.
Is this our last episode of 2025? Potentially, maybe.
Potentially, unless,
Okay.
well, it depends on how much we have to talk about the football game or if we want to do like New Year's resolutions or something, but
We'll see.
we'll see.
Do you do New Year's resolutions?
No, I just
Okay.
threw that out there.
I was gonna say,
Seems like a lot of work.
yeah, yeah. Um, Welcome to the next 45 minutes of your life. Maybe not that long. Maybe 30 minutes. Somewhere between 30 minutes and 45 minutes of your life, where we will talk about anything and everything related to
You got a
Penn
stopwatch on
State.
your phone. Go ahead and
Okay,
press
yeah,
start now.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So, the name of the podcast that you are spending the next 30 to 45 minutes of your life is called Stuff Summer Says with
Steve,
Steve. We do have an agenda. We do have things to talk about. I do have a quiz. It is not stressful though. I think you will do okay. It's
you're
not
level
music
setting at
related.
start.
It's
You're
not
level
music
setting. It's
related.
great.
So
Okay.
it's you should do okay on this. Um, I have a couple things I want to talk about. You want to talk about some wrestling? We can kind of get going. All right. Let's start with the college football playoff because that was the first round games were this weekend. I watched all of them or parts of all of them. I turned off the Oregon game for the Bears game and only dabbled in the Ole Miss game for a little bit. And then was like, this is boring.
Mhm.
Need to watch something else. But I think the biggest takeaway of the weekend was something I got maybe some heat for, or people were confused by, or frustrated with me over, which was the comment I made prior to the Oklahoma game when they did a light show and then they did a laser show,
You got
and
heat for
yeah,
keep going.
and people push back on when I said, look at the experience, not understanding that there is a difference between atmosphere and experience. And I just simply said that I don't think Penn State, which has the phrase trademarked or whatever of greatest show in college sports, was living up to that hype, even though they weren't playing, based on some of the things we saw from Oklahoma, some of the things we even saw in Ole Miss, where they set a Santa hat record. I thought there was a lot of creativity around game day production, game day energy, game day whatever that was interesting to me this weekend. Oklahoma. So there was the laser show in Oklahoma. There was the light show. There was a drone show apparently at halftime. There was also fireworks shooting out of the flagpoles that spell out Oklahoma that the cheerleaders use to run out onto the field. All things that Penn State has never attempted or
God
has.
forbid. And I you know what I noticed all that. I also noticed Oklahoma had the flags of every SEC school in its pregame on-field stuff.
Yeah, that's weird.
And Penn State has done
Yeah,
the
the
fight song
one.
from the other team
Yeah,
for years. So I thought that was cool. I don't know whether that's an SEC thing because I haven't been to.
just being
I mean,
sport.
right. It wasn't at Auburn when they played Penn State, that kind of thing. So again, it just means more. So who pushed back? You're the young guy. The people that are your friends should love all this schmaltz.
I think people conflated the difference between atmosphere and experience, and I think there is an important difference because when let's go back to the Ohio State game when I took a little bit of heat for saying like a similar thing. People did not understand that I was talking about the game day experience, the things that the athletic departments themselves control. They don't control the atmosphere to a degree, but they do control the experience. And I thought that back at Columbus, it was a much better experience for me as a fan going to that game. In some ways, I think we talked about the stadium not being there. There were a lot of people that maybe didn't necessarily, and that might be on me, didn't understand that nuance. And I think that was a couple people that pushed back, being like, "Huh, what are you talking about?" So I don't know.
I thought Oklahoma looked really good on TV. I mean,
Yes,
I was not surprised by the on-field signage going away, and I felt bad in the future for the West Shore home guy because that mark is not going to be on the field when there's a playoff game at Beaver Stadium next time. Nor should it be. It's now it's the CFP's event as it was last year here, their show, their facility. But the light show was, and I always had plausible deniability when we were with Russ and Terry up in the last row because I can not turn my light on and participate in this stuff that I figure's a little hokey. But doing the light show at a night game with everybody on their phone, okay, that's cool. You're giving it a try. You're trying something different. There is power and history and emotion in the blue band walking out on the field for people that have been there for years. It's wonderful. You don't want to mess with that. I'm not saying you mess with that, but there are some things you could do without a lot of heavy lifting that would make a game day at Beaver Stadium, make every one of them feel special and like it's the greatest show, as opposed to just, in addition to just the whiteout feeling like it's the greatest show. And I get this was a playoff game, so I don't know what Oklahoma does regular wise, and this is certainly up the ante. But I thought it looked good. It didn't look schmaltzy. And the Santa hat thing at Ole Miss, it was appropriate. They had done the right thing at the right place. Oklahoma is not a Santa hat. I don't care about the colors, yes or red and white, but not a Santa hat place, because they have a little bit more tradition. They're not going to do the Ole Miss, let me get in the record book. So I thought both places did things that kind of fit the DNA of who they are. And I guess I'd be surprised, again, parsing the hairs on what you call it, or splitting the hairs on what you call it at Penn State. But there has to be something in the DNA. And I get that I'm the guy who's like, I don't know that I'm anti-trying new things. It's just that, try something that's going to work.
Yeah.
As opposed to the flag and the kid and the whatever else.
No, and I think that's what we're looking for.
And where did Penn State's new person come from?
That was one of the things I wanted to call out, is that Leah came from Oklahoma. So I think that is an important thing. So maybe she'll bring some of that with her, as we talked about with her a couple weeks ago, Leah Beasley. There's that. The other thing, you brought up an interesting point, because the logos thing on the field stood out to me, and I remember. I obviously remembered last year that there was the de-NASCARification of it was the college football playoffs event, so it's all the ads, all of the stuff on the jumbotron, ribbon boards, etc., which in a lot of ways was a much cleaner experience as a fan. But the field thing was interesting because that came up during the BOT meeting when they were approving this. I think even Carl Nassib asked about that. I need to go back and listen to that part, because I meant to go back and listen to that part, because I do think that is an interesting component, because I do wonder, you lose exposure there, right? Like, those are, I don't know that those will be the 4 most watched college football games of the year, but certainly Oklahoma's game and the Texas A&M game were some of the more watched games of the year, and that's exposure that those brands lost. I think that was interesting. I do want to wade into like a college football playoff debate. We've now gone through 2 years of home playoff games. We went to one last year, and it was an incredible experience as a fan. Do you think that the next round should be on campus as well? You're struggling with this. This is tough. I didn't expect you to.
I think the first round. I think they blow. I think if you're gonna do it right, you blow up and get rid of the although you can't, because ESPN owns them. There's just so many layers to this. Get rid of the meaningless bowls, the TV filler bowls. I'm okay with the bigger bowls still existing, just because there should be. I think once you get to that level, that next round, the neutral site part is worth it. It's worth the value they've earned. Some of the second team, the lower team, has earned the right to not have to play on the road, because everybody's pretty good. I wouldn't have a problem at all if they went to 16 and did all the first round games on campus. We had those games. It's just their struggle will be where to put them on TV, because if they did them, unless they mess with Army-Navy weekend and put some game and play that weekend and step on that, then they've got to go head to head with each other.
Right.
This past weekend to get the number of games. So there's just so many pieces there. So no, I think the next round is neutral, but I would be okay if they went to 16 and all those first 8 games were on campus.
As somebody that prefers college football over the NFL, with the way the last 2 games on TNT, which were very specifically put on TNT, or well, they knew what they were kind of doing there. It would have been nice to be able to flip the channel to ESPN2 or regular ESPN and see another college football game going on. Not that there weren't the FCS games going on, but it would have been nice. I think that it does feel like we lose something. Like it will feel a little empty when we get to the next round, because it's like, we missed
It's
out.
more sterile.
Yeah, it just is. It even at the Rose Bowl itself, it just is. No, I was curious on that. I think if you would, I think the easier, more logistical or thing that makes more sense is to go to 16 and then do it that way. I don't think then you can still have the bowls down the line. Because I think the Oklahoma atmosphere looked great, but the A&M atmosphere looked even better, right? And like that to me was what made those games almost just as enjoyable to watch, was seeing people experience that the way Penn State experienced that last year. So, okay.
Yeah, you got to lose a couple of the middling bowls because you're going to have 4 more teams playing at 4 more teams in the playoff if you do that. But their challenge will be, as it always is the level of greed they want to pretend they don't have. Because the way to make the most money is to split them up somehow so they're not stepping on each other and having 2 games in the same time slot. But it'd be kind of fun and feel like the tournament feel like the NCAA tournament a little bit if you have 2 games at noon, 2 games at 4, and 2 games at 8.
Right. Or stagger them even.
And stagger. Do a 7 and 10 on Friday night. There's got to be enough of a West Coast team out there somewhere that probably isn't. So, and that'll all happen in the next month. I mean, they will make decisions. And if it stays at 12, I'm okay with that because I don't know that we learned this year that the field is much deeper than that, aside from a team that probably should have won some regular season games if it wanted to get in. And I think any more than 16 really to lose the regular season.
No, I agree with that. And I think that and the ACC tiebreakers really, was on the ACC. Like that.
They'll probably revisit that this month as well.
Yeah, that's a big thing they need to fix. Okay. Did it bother you? It bothered me. It didn't bother me. It felt weird having to switch to TNT, which is not a network, at least as a Big Ten fan or somebody that watches either Big Ten or SEC football primarily, that I'm not familiar with watching football on. Did it bother you? It felt weird to switch to TNT during these. These are 4 of the most important college football games of the year, right?
The weirdest part was hearing the voices in places they shouldn't be.
Yes, I think maybe that was it.
It was ESPN talent because they sublicensed the game. The weirdest part was hearing the talent and thinking, what is that logo? I mean, and it was their marks, but the CFP logo was a little tweaked because they got the TNT branding in there. But ESPN knows what it's doing with those games because they are not in those time slots against the NFL games as valuable to them. So go ahead and let TNT pay them some money, let them make some money back, and TNT's happy to have the inventory, and ESPN's happy to not have as quite a high rated game. The good thing, the other big thing about this is I haven't seen them yet, but my guess is that after last year's first round of the CFP, Penn State's game was the lowest rated CFP game in that set of games. One of those 2 afternoon games will be the lowest now. So Penn State doesn't have to carry that thing around for if you're really worried about it. Penn State's game will not be the lowest rated quarterfinal in the past couple of years because one of those 2 games will be.
Yeah, because at least the Oregon brand has a little bit of national appeal, and there are a lot of JMU grads, and maybe that's just because I live in the DMV and feel like you can't throw a stone without hitting a JMU grad. But like Tulane and Ole Miss, they are not TV draws. And
I mean, if those games are better than what Penn State drew last year,
I'll be surprised.
Wow. I mean, I will, TV stuff is kind of what I follow, and I'm always like, well, Penn State's not a super draw as some other places. If that were to happen, that these 2 games were better than that would prove a point that they're not a draw.
Well, and I can't imagine they were because they both went up against an NFL game. Now,
and so did Penn State. That time slot last year, they had the NFL game too. So we'll see. Didn't they?
No, because they were the noon game last year. Remember?
Okay, maybe it was because they were the noon game, but still, they were still a low one.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Well, and I think some of that's just the appeal of SMU.
Right.
Well. Okay. Let's talk about Penn State's bowl briefly. Here's my question. Penn State, which this is an interesting thing I recently learned, but when the selection came out or pick came out for this game, Penn State and Clemson have only played each other once. Did you cover that game?
I did not, but it was a big game in Penn State history, more on the administrative side, because the Clemson game ignited a discussion around brands and licensing and patenting with the number of paws on your lion and or tiger's foot.
That's right. I forgot about this.
So that game brought about the institution of the five paw lion
Yes.
paw, for lack of a better thing. And Penn State's logo for several years it was a symmetrical looking paw with one thing in the middle, one little pad in the middle, and two on either side, because Clemson had four.
Right.
So it was I was aware of the game. I'm sure we watched the game, didn't cover it, but it was big for that purposes.
I forgot about that aspect of it because I remember that being. I mean, that's not really a thing because they don't really use the pod logo anymore. I don't think that's
right. It changed, but for about 5 years afterward, it was
okay.
You can't use that paw. You got to use this paw. This is the Penn State paw, and it was in the lead up to Clemson where that happened.
And there is, I read this in a book once. There is a specific way that the Nittany Lion paw was drawn back in the day, and I can't remember what it was, but I forgot about the fact that because the Clemson logo does look very similar to that paw. So, and then I think the other thing I looked up, I was like, this is the game that Blair Thomas like tore his ACL or ripped down his knee or whatever.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It is weird to me that Penn State and Clemson have only ever played once. It feels like they should have played more often. I guess Penn State doesn't really venture into the South, even if it is just South Carolina that much. Am I interested in this game from that standpoint? I don't know why I'm interested in this game other than the fact that Penn State's playing and it will be something to watch on TV on Saturday afternoon at 12. That's really about it. I'm kind of glad that this season is almost over. Kind of glad that this process is almost over. I am interested to see how many people like silent opt out, as opposed to the 4 that have opted out publicly, and the 28 or 27 that Clemson's up to now that have like publicly opted out. So we'll see there, because this is what happened at the Peach Bowl a couple years ago when there was like, oh, we only have 2 opt-outs, and then they went down there and like almost none of the starters ended up playing.
Yeah, that won't be frustrating at all.
Yeah,
I mean that's the part that's, especially now in the you're getting paid era. Opt out and say you're not going to be there. Do not be on the sidelines. Be on street clothes in the stands. Take your family out for dinner. Watch it on TV. I don't care. But the whole get dressed, show up, I don't think I'm going to play thing. That's just frustrating.
I wish that we could find a better solution for the opt-outs. And I think maybe the solution is like player rights fees or some type of...
I think that's next. I think the winner's fee in the Pinstripe Bowl is $50,000. The loser's fee is $22,000.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. Because none of these bowls, and again, I'll be okay with the death of them. The Peach Bowl does a lot of charity work. And, they raise money, they do stuff, and it's kind of a year-round thing, and they do something. I don't think many of these do that or do it as much as they did before. So, and I know there are tourist things for the areas. The Yankees are getting another date in the stadium. They're selling concessions. They're selling tickets. It's their money. That makes sense. ESPN's getting the programming. But if we're doing about the players' rights and the ability to have things and get paid, that's the next step. Like some bowl is going to be say, and some lower tier bowl is going to survive because it says we're going to pay a winner's fee and a winner's share and a loser's share to the teams.
I think the other way that some quote unquote lower tier or second tier bowl survives is by marketing itself, and that is what the Pop-Tarts Bowl has done a great job of, and which is the same company as the Cheez-Its Bowl, the same group down there in Orlando. Like, I think that type of thing, and finding yourself like kind of recognizing the awkwardness, I guess, if you will, and embracing the awkwardness of what these bowls are, I think they've done a really nice job with that. And I think that makes me as a fan more interested in those bowl games than, oh, we're gonna pit Penn State and Clemson against each other. These are 2 teams that have only ever played once before. Like, look at this history. It's not that historical when you have. And that's kind of what's frustrating about it. No, but I really wish there is a way that there has to be a solution, especially now with NIL, that this can be figure it out.
They will figure it out, and I think the marketing ones are smart. Whether it's those that you mentioned, or like the Sun Bowl has a kind of unique spot on the schedule, and they've been able to kind of stick around through a while. I think it was lazy money for some bowls for a while, and maybe lazy ESPN. Hey, we need programming on this date. We're going to own this bowl. We're going to do that. That's they may stick around a little longer, but these players, I think the player opt-outs will make the decision. There's going to be some bowl somewhere, maybe not this year, but soon, where somebody's going to be embarrassed because they aren't going to have players.
I mean, was it last year? Didn't Marshall opt out? Yeah, Marshall just didn't have enough players because they were upset that Huff wasn't returned or they didn't re-sign Huff. But no, it just doesn't. I don't know. I do enjoy the fact that there is, for the next 2 weeks, really good football, or not really good football, but just a constant stream of football, constant stream of sports, really.
There's options.
So, I'm not going. You're not going. Okay.
Watching it on TV.
Watching it on TV. Had we not been to this bowl before, we would have considered it a little bit more. But because we've been there before, I think that's why. I am interested to see how Terry Smith goes off into the sunset, even if he'll be an assistant coach here as well. I think that's a storyline if you're looking for something to pay attention to. And I'm interested to see. Well, I was just to say, I'm interested to see how Matt Campbell is involved. Are they going to interview him during the bowl game, or are they going to talk about him? I think that'll be an interesting thing to keep an eye on.
Yep. No, there's a lot of stuff that'll be kind of fun to watch and just see what happens.
Yeah.
So that'll be. It won't be raise your heart rate excitement, but it'll be kind of interesting stuff to pay attention to.
Yeah. Well, I still yell at the TV. Of course I will. Okay.
You're getting paid. Make that catch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's fair. All right. Last topic for me before we get to Old Guy Young Guy, or actually from you, Old Guy Young Guy. You did a phenomenal job of recapping the numbers that have gone into Penn State wrestling's 77 now straight dual matches win streak. Thoughts, feelings, emotion.
It was one of those things. We tracked it down and we have it on the blog. The stuff that I didn't know, and I didn't have a chance to go deeper into bouts. I would love to know who has the most pins and tech falls, and I'm sorry I wasn't that deep into it. And I don't know if Flow Wrestling did that. I'm kind of disappointed, and maybe I missed it. And if I did, please somebody share it. I don't know if somebody locally did that, but it kind of reinstated the niche factor of Penn State wrestling when that kind of thing doesn't happen out of something like this. That you're not here's a little bit deeper. So went through and day of the week, date, time, location, final score, and attendance, and it was kind of fun to look through it. So some interesting things. Nothing stellar came out of it. The lopsidedness of the streak came out of it. And even this past weekend, I mean, you knew they were going to win both down in Nashville. Don't know that I knew they were both going to be shutouts. And as you're going through them, you're just looking for some little glimmer. I mean, you have to appreciate, I guess, the excellence and the quality and the just how good they are. But it's tough because they have taken the competitiveness out of a lot of this stuff. I mean, it's just not. It's fun to watch on one hand because somebody's really, really good, but there is no doubt what's going to happen on the other end. So that way, it's not quite as fun. When it's 42-0 and 46-0, there were a couple upsets against Stanford that Penn State wrestlers pulled, like two of them. But then in the first match, there were 4 tech falls, 2 majors, and 2 pins. It was just quick. It was great, wonderful stuff if you're drinking all the blue and white Kool-Aid, and that's great for people who do, but just a little bit of competitiveness would be fun. And I think that's where people nationally may say, oh, why don't they do this or why don't they do that? But they don't need to do this or do that because the thing that matters is at the end.
Right.
And that's the national championship. So
I think about that. I think about because I think the interesting thing in going through those numbers was it was a blowout. And then one close match a year, right? Like it's usually Ohio State or Iowa that it's kind of boiled down to. I think that one of the things why I understand why people are frustrated about the number of BJC duels is they've kind of taken that, they've removed that anticipation around that big match, and now kind of oh, we're just going to wrestle at the BJC because we can get more people in there, type thing, and make more money from it. And I don't love that. But I do think ultimately, like, I don't think this one is as impressive as the just run of national championships and the consistency there, because that's when it really matters. But I do think that it was surprising to not necessarily see this celebrated, not even nationally, but even just kind of thought the coverage was lacking on.
Yeah, and part of it I think was it happened in Nashville. It didn't happen
yeah.
at home, and that always affects it. Nationally, it's not going to happen because it's wrestling. It's just not. I mean, people don't get it or don't cover it. And I think the national championship run's more important. And I mean, I do think this number at 77 is got at least another year to go, easily, until it's got the rest of the season to go, I think, for sure. And then we'll see about next season. And unless they add some weird non-conference thing, it's probably got a couple more seasons, and who knows more to go, just because they are that good. And kudos to them for being that good. It's just then you lead to, wow, we're really good. We should let more people see it. Let's go to the Jordan Center for Wyoming, and you get 8,000 people. And the what makes that special is that big event, So
Well, and
I understand why, but
the flip side is Rec Hall, right? Like the intimacy of Rec Hall, like that is actually what makes Penn State wrestling, in part, one of the reasons that Penn State wrestling is special.
And the scarcity to get a ticket makes it special then, So I know they wrestle with it. I'm sure, the per cap sales when they get 15,000 for one of the big ones matter. But I think that's a balance. Again, I don't think they're going to blow it. I just think it's just the balance you wrestle with in terms of perception each time.
Any other thoughts on wrestling?
No, looking forward to coming back. They'll make a run. This will be however many they got left, added to 77 for the regular season, and I'm sure they'll march to a national championship too. So good for them. And wait, you're the one who's getting the cookies in early January? When did they come?
They shipped January 6th. I bought some, yes, for those listening, I bought some of the Kale Sanderson cookies. We will do a taste test. We will investigate those cookies.
I think that's the thing that interested me, and I mentioned it a little bit in the blog post. It's just a different world for them. We've got the Yeti cap during the news conferences. We will wear a wrestler's T-shirt, and that'll probably rotate now going forward. It wouldn't shock me if there's some other wrestler with the brand. We've got the cookies. There's just this. It's not an in-your-face confidence. It's just like, this is who we are, and we are so comfortable with monetizing this stuff subtly that nobody complains or points it out.
Is that, and this is where I don't know the power dynamics, is that what you were alluding to, or is that because there is the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club, and the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club is like its own,
I don't know where that goes.
Semi-adjacent to the athletic department. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would love to know where that stuff goes and where it fits.
Because I think that's an interesting aspect to the wrestling program beyond any other sport. It really, even, and just writ large around the nation, any other sport, there's all these wrestling clubs that support the wrestling teams that are very different than the Friends of Penn State Men's Hockey Booster Club, right? It's just a different thing, or the Quarterbacks Club with the football team that are, because I just think that's always been very interesting to me, and would like to know more. Maybe we can look into that. Okay. Anything else wrestling related? Anything else Penn State related?
This is quiz time coming. You're telling me?
Yes, it is quiz time.
Okay.
It is the week of Christmas. We are watching plenty of Christmas movies this week. I have a sports adjacent Christmas movies quiz. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
There are 5 questions. I think you can get up to 6 points though.
Okay.
I don't know that you will get all 5, but I do think you'll do okay on this. So these are questions.
Appreciate your confidence.
They are related to holiday movies. Emphasis on holiday movies, not just Christmas movies. Holiday movies.
Holiday movies, okay.
And they're sports related. Question 1. In the movie Elf, Buddy's half-brother Michael wears what team's jersey?
A Knicks jersey.
No.
Oops. Oh.
So we've already missed one. It's a Jets jersey.
Jets jersey. Oh, well.
Okay. So we're going to put a 0 there. Okay, this one's tough. What college football game is the guard at Nakatomi Plaza watching that I don't believe has been ever played on Christmas Eve?
USC, UCLA.
You got one team right. I'll give you. You want to take
USC Notre Dame?
Yes, it's USC Notre Dame.
Okay. No, I don't think that's ever been played on Christmas Day either.
Clark Griswold wears the apparel from 2 teams in Christmas Vacation.
This is how I could get 6 points if I got them both.
Yes. Now you can only get 5 because you missed the first one.
That's true. Chicago Bulls, one of them?
No.
Oh, then I have no idea because they're in Chicago. What else would he wear? The Bears is one of them.
The hat.
Okay.
And?
The Blackhawks.
Yes, the Blackhawks jersey. Okay, we'll give you that one.
Oh, wow, that's a Christmas gift. Look at that.
What sport do they play in 8 Crazy Nights? Like an integral scene to the movie. Have you ever seen this movie?
I have never seen that movie.
I'll give you a hint.
I'm not going to know.
I'll give you a hint.
Ice hockey.
Do you know who the main voice actor in this movie is?
No, I don't even know this movie.
Can't even. Okay. Adam Sandler is the voice actor in this movie. It's kind of like relates to the whole Hanukkah song that he sings.
It's an animated.
It's an animated movie. They play basketball in this movie, which if you know Adam Sandler, you would have got. You are struggling on this.
I didn't know of 8 Crazy Nights. I know his Hanukkah song, but I don't know the 8 Crazy Nights movie.
All right. I don't think you'll get. This is the one I didn't think you'll get, but you've really struggled through this. What soccer player does the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom mention in his speech in Love Actually? He specifically mentions his feet. Think.
Well, it's not Taylor. The movie's too recent, right?
Thinks 2000s and think British soccer players, English soccer players.
Oh, David Beckham.
Yes, there we go. Proud of you. I give you like a
half.
A 3.
That's a half. Oh, yeah, that's fine.
3 out of 5 out of 6 on this.
Out of 6? Yeah, that's
you like kind of passed. I don't know.
It's Christmas.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's about it for this week. Told you we were 32 minutes. Look at that.
Are any of those films a consistent Christmas watch?
Yes, we will watch. On Christmas Eve we always watch Charlie Brown. We watch Elf, and then we watch Love Actually.
Okay,
those are our 3 go-tos. We already watched Die Hard. We already watched Christmas Vacation. So
okay,
those are our usual go-tos. I'm trying to think what else. We still got to get through the Santa Clauses. Both of the first 2. We don't watch the third one. And then I'm trying to think what else we need to watch. There is the one with Seth Rogen and Jay Farrow, I think, maybe. Called The Night Before. It's kind of like a modern twist. Not appropriate for children. Don't watch that around kids. We watched that one. I'm trying to think what else is on the list. That's about it. What are you guys? How many more do you guys have to go?
We probably have a lot. We'll do Home Alone at some point.
Already watched that.
We'll do probably Die Hard at some point. I mean, we only got a couple days left. Santa Claus. We saw the first Santa Claus the other week.
Okay.
And part of 2, so that's how it's done. The claymation things we did early, so those are usually for us. Like we'll do the claymation routine. Surprisingly enough, the youngest grandchild wasn't quite ready for those, so we'll have those in our hip pocket for next year.
Freaked out by them?
Just not interested.
Okay. Okay.
And I think kudos to parents for like not being screen time people. Okay. They're like, this is what we're doing. We're just going to watch this. So kudos to them for that. Although culturally, you kind of got to know what that stuff is, as evidenced by my poor quiz results. So yeah, that's probably just a handful.
Okay. Do you do like Miracle on?
Oh yeah, Miracle on 34th Street, the old one, the old black and white one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do that? We've never done that one, or It's a Wonderful Life. Not.
Oh yeah, we did it. We already did that one. Yeah, again, but that's an age. I went to a movie theater like 3 or 4 years ago. The State Theater did that, and the kids got me that for birthday last Christmas.
That's a good
to go watch that in person. So that was good. So yeah, we've done that one already. So we've gotten that black and white one out of the way, and we'll see what Susan can put up with, whether it's tonight or the next 2 nights of something after holiday stuff. Okay, time to watch a movie, and that just means she may fall asleep watching it, and I'll say, okay, it's over now. We can go to bed. So we'll see.
See, I'm the one that falls asleep during the movies in our house. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's like, okay, it's over, time to go. So we'll see.
All right. Cool. Well, thanks for listening with us. Thanks for hanging out with us. Maybe we'll talk to you in 2026. Maybe we'll talk to you in 2025 one more time. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. Name of the podcast, you already know that. Website called stuffsummersays.com. On that website, there's a section called With
Steve.
You can wish us a Merry Christmas by emailing us, Darian at stuffsummersays.com, or
Steve at stuffsummersays.com.
We could also email you, but we have some of your emails. You can sign up for our newsletter or get alerts or whatever.
Put in the subject line. Send me, welcome me, send me Merry Christmas, and we'll email you back.
We'll email you back. Emails, 5 stars, thumbs up. Appreciate that. And then lastly, you can find me on the internet at Stuff Summer Says. You can find Steve
Steve Samsel.
See ya. Bye.